कोण म्हणून दिसणार
आता तुम्ही म्हणताय दिसतायत म्हणून
आपण लवकर करूया.
Good morning, everyone. Today, let us begin the session by wishing the Secretary, Honorable Secretary of Bharati Vidyapith Pune and the source of our inspiration, Dr. Vishwajit Ji Kadam sir, a very happy birthday. Taking inspiration from the social and educational contribution of our dynamic leader, Honorable Dr. Vishwajit Ji Kadam, Bala Sahib, we have organized a webinar on grooming yourself to be a professional on the occasion of his birthday. Now, let us all listen to the Bharati Vidyapith Geet.
माझ्या मोबाईल मध्ये व्हॉट्सअप चालू केला
सुजलाम सुफलाम मळे बहरले कीर्ती सुगंधाचे सुजलाम सुफलाम मळे बहरले कीर्ती सुगंधाचे उजाड माळावरी उजळले दीप संपदांचे हे शिल्प हे स्वप्न आभाळाचे हे शिल्प हे स्वप्न आभाळाचे
ज्ञानदानन पुण्याईचे ज्ञानदानन पुण्याईचे पावन मंदिर आहे पावन मंदिर आहे
पावन मंदिर आहे पावन मंदिर आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे
चार्जिंग होते
वादळातून झेप घेतली ध्येय पतंगाने तुफानाशी झुंज घेतली गुढी आनंद आनंदाने वादळातून झेप घेतली ध्येय पतंगाने तुफानाशी झुंज घेतली कुणी आनंदाने यशवंताचे यशोगीत हे मूर्तिमंत गाणे यशवंताचे यशोगीत हे मूर्तिमंत गाणे
निर्धाराची निश्चल निष्ठा निर्धाराची निश्चल निष्ठा त्याग मागते आहे त्याग मागते आहे
त्याग मागते आहे त्याग मागते आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे
भारती विद्यापीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे
सह्यगिरीची पर्वतराजी सभोवती सुंदर सह्यगिरीची पर्वतराजी सभोवती सुंदर दिनदुबळ्यांची वाट वळावी असेच फुले घर दिनदुबळ्यांची वाट वळावी असेच फुले घर नंदनवन हे फुला मुलांचे सेवेला तत्पर नंदनवन हे फुला मुलांचे सेवेला तत्पर
मानवतेची निर्मळ गंगा मानवतेची निर्मळ गंगा इथे वाहते आहे इथे वाहते आहे
इथे वाहते आहे इथे वाहते आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे
भारती विद्यापीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे
छत्रपतींच्या कर्मवीरांच्या कार्याची प्रेरणा छत्रपतींच्या कर्मवीरांच्या कार्याची प्रेरणा देई आम्हा शक्ती फुलांच्या मनातील कल्पना देई आम्हा शक्ती फुलांच्या मनातील कल्पना सुमंगलाची
विज्ञानाची
आम्ही करू प्रार्थना सुमंगलाची
विज्ञानाची
आम्ही करू प्रार्थना
येणारा प्रत्येक क्षण हा येणारा प्रत्येक क्षण हा आमच्यासाठी आहे आमच्यासाठी आहे
आमच्यासाठी आहे आमच्यासाठी आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे
भारती विद्यापीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे
सहकार्याचे सत्कार्याचे सहकार्याचे सत्कार्याचे प्रतीक येथे आहे सहकार्याचे सत्कार्याचे प्रतीक येथे आहे या देशाचे विद्याभूषण ज्ञानपीठ आहे या देशाचे विद्याभूषण ज्ञानपीठ आहे ज्ञानपीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे भारती विद्यापीठ आहे
Good morning, everyone. Respected Director Dr. Rajesh Kante, sir. The key speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Churchill Samson. The Head of the Department of Business Administration, Dr. P.K. Mudarkar, sir. The Head of the Department of Computer Applications, Dr. Rahul Jadhav, sir. All the faculty members and my dear students. I, on behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth, DB University, Pune, management, I extend a warm welcome to each one of you to another enriching session organized on the occasion of the birth anniversary of our Honorable Founder, Dr. Patangravji Kadam Sahib, and the birthday of our Honorable Secretary, Dr. Vishwajiji Kadam Sir. The topic for today's webinar is Grooming Yourself to be a Professional. So now I will give you all a brief introduction of the today's key speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Samson Churchill. Dr. Churchill Samson has a strong experiential and academic background spanning over 2 decades in leadership, communication skills, training skills, organizational skills, decision making and negotiation skills, team building, networking, and marketing. He has completed Masters in Philosophy in Management Studies, Masters in Business Administration and Human Resource Management, and Masters in Journalism and Mass Communication. Having a zeal and quest for purposefulness for life, he has additionally acquired a doctorate in biblical studies, specializing in leadership. He has worked as a soft skill trainer for an engineering college, administrator for a medical college, regional director for an NGO based in Hyderabad, providing leadership consultations. He also headed a multinational project for a South Korean organization. He worked as a public relations officer for a 1800 plus personnel, handling governmental and media responsibilities. He excelled for a decade in pharmaceutical marketing, having worked for multinational and national companies. Presently, he is working as a corporate trainer, providing training to the students community, faculty, and corporates. To summarize, he is a deeply passionate about training, leadership, and organizational culture. I now request Dr. Churchill Samson to begin the webinar. Over to you, Dr. Churchill.
Okay, let me come back. Am I audible, please? If somebody could respond, it would be good. I just get a feedback that I was not audible. May I request someone from there, Madam Ashwini or Madam Vishali, to kindly respond back whether if I'm audible. Okay, I'm audible. Thank you. So let me thank you for that response. It says audible, right? So let me begin again. So at the very outset, I want to wish Honorable Dr. Vishwajit Kadam, the Secretary of Bharati Vidyapeeth, happy birthday. And this is my prayer to God for a long life, that he'd be able to give leadership to, continue to give leadership to this big organization. I get a message saying ask to unmute. I'm sorry for the technical issues. I hope I'm audible, please.
You are audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Because somewhere it says please unmute, so I was just wondering. So I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I was saying what it means to be professional, or what it means to acquire professionalism. So let me just put it in the soft, simple words. It means, having distinctive qualities, having distinctive qualifications. Now, what does that mean, having distinctive qualification? It simply means the way one conducts properly, having beliefs or ethics, and then exercising it in our day-to-day life. So, putting it in a nutshell, it simply means how do we, reflect, understand what are these distinctive qualifications and how we practice in our day-to-day lives. So let us begin today, and I want to share with you by sharing my small presentation, which says, uh, on professionalism. So you'll be able to get the okay. So let's begin from here. I want to talk to you about the ABCs of professionalism. So in this next few minutes that we have, let's try to get the best out of it, what we understand of the ABCs of professionalism. So the first alphabet A of the acronym ABC is attitude. So Winston Churchill said, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Many times we try to complicate by trying to have a lot of big fundas, or a lot of huge words. But let's try to simplify and understand what this attitude is. It's a little thing. It's a little thing, but that makes it makes a lot big difference. So let's get into a little detail and try to understand what this attitude is and what it needs to be. You see, this attitude, what we need to have or develop is good attitude. None of us are born evil. We're all born with good qualities. We're all born with this equal environment. But then how we respond to that environment and how we make the better of it depends on the choice and the decision that a person makes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to be successful in our life, if we want to really excel in our career, in whatever we do, it's important that we consciously begin to understand what a good attitude is and how we begin to implement into our lives, how we take it, how we pull the leaf out of it and begin to practice in our life. When we start acquiring, developing and practicing a good attitude, it will take us a long way where we'll always be able to live behind not only a legacy, but also we would set an example. So, especially my great concern for the present generation and the young generation is we are too quick to learn things that are detrimental to our life and profession, life, or being professionalism. So it is very important that at the very outset, we need to pause. Today we are all at a supersonic speed. We want things at the flip of a finger. We want everything at the touch of the finger. We need to really pause. Somebody rightly said, haste is waste. So, we, as a fruit develops in a concealed manner, our attitude also grows in a concealed manner, but at the right time, a very delicious fruit will come out. So, friends, especially the student community, I would like to encourage you, try to understand what is a good attitude and how to receive that good attitude and how to implement in our life and how to practice in our life. So let's feel a little more. What could a good attitude look like? I want to be more pragmatic. I want to be more on a practical side. And definitely we will have some time, though we may not be able to address many questions, but surely one or two questions, if it's relevant, we will look at it. You can park it, you can reserve it, we will look at it. So what does a good attitude look like? Good attitude will always have a favorable outlook, will always have an optimistic view, will always try to be a solution instead of looking at problems or digging at problems. A person who wants to excel with a good attitude will have a favorable outlook, just not an outlook, but a favorable outlook. Would like to try to make even the best out of the worst, would display the quality of patience, analytical mind, think it in a much better way, and just not saying why it is like this, but would always say, why not like this? And try to address, oh, it could be also in that way. So, having a favorable outlook is very important. When this pandemic hit the globe, it actually twisted life for some, it spun life for some, but for some, it definitely brought about a transformation too. If we look at it that way, of course, there are things, losses, and many things that have happened. But if we have a good attitude, how we can still make it look more favorable? Having that outlook is very important. How I can bring about a change within myself and change of the circumstance around me. Then the next thing is, a good attitude always views life with importance. We would not look at life as per chance or just a destiny of luck. We would not look at that, but we would look at life with great importance. Ladies and gentlemen, what I've understood, having researched for more than 10 years in leadership and looking into people's behavior, it is so important that we understand the value of human life. If we have a proper attitude, we would make it. If we have a negative attitude, we will break it, we will lose it. So we should view life with utmost importance. I would say today, this program has been arranged to also remember my sincere apologies for the disruption due to the technical issues. So the second thing I said about good attitude is views life with importance. We'll move on and then also look what is a good attitude. It doesn't ignore the challenges, but it addresses the challenges. It is not to say that we cover up saying there are no problems. No, but it receives problems. It does look at challenges. It does admit it's not getting into a denial mode saying, no, there are no problems, there are no challenges, there are no issues. No. What is a good attitude? Good attitude looks at reality, looks with reality, understands the fact, and begins to address the challenges, begins to look at how we can look at these challenges and rectify. So, ladies and gentlemen, so the good attitude is having a favorable outlook, views life with importance, and then addresses challenges. One more thing we will look at is, and a good attitude is building confidence. None of us are born courageous. None of us are born with a lion heart. But as we walk through the journey of life, confidence begins to build up. With every situation, with every circumstances, as we overcome, we learn through our failures. That's what the third point we have seen, addressing the challenges. Life is definitely a combination of successes and failures. Failure is not the end, but it is also the back door to success. And then we begin to see, so let's not shy away from failures. Let's not shy away from our downfalls. Let's not shy away with our weaknesses, but let's learn how we can overcome. And that's the way we build our confidence. So we have seen the first aspect of the acronym of ABC is attitude. Now let's look at the second aspect, behavior. What is behavior? Behavior, to simplify, is the way in which one acts or conduct themselves. This happens every moment of our life in the way we act and we conduct ourselves. So let's have a little understanding of how we can groom ourselves to be professional. So let's look at four kinds of behavior or four types of behavior. Number one, it's always good to develop an optimistic behavior. I'm not saying walk blindly, but what I would emphasize is we got to be analytical when we are optimistic. That simply means that it's not I believe everything. No. Being optimistic means we weigh the pros and cons. We weigh the benefits and disadvantages. That's what I say is that's exactly what I mean to being analytical or optimistic. So you see that we need to understand how we can develop this optimistic behavior. At certain times, we need our response. Of course, at certain times, a reaction also is necessary to rectify a situation. Responses are also equally good, but also a good reaction, not a reaction that would be detrimental. So I would again put in the bracket good reaction. So then the second one, the second type of behavior, you know, pessimistic. Of course, I'm not saying that you're good to be, when I mean pessimistic, I'm not saying that you've got to be negative, but somebody rightly said, before you act in haste, it's better to think a little in leisure. Because when you act in haste,
बंद झालं.
No, let me do it. Is it working that? Is the PowerPoint working?
Correct.
तुम्ही मोबाईल तुझ्या याच्यावर
Unmute and start sharing.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Where is it? Right. Sorry, with a lot of interruptions, we continue. So the third thing is trusting. You know, our behavior, we should trust, but avoid taking for granted. You know, our trust should be definitely implicit, but don't take things for granted. Always, weigh upon uh, how how much you can trust on. It's just not going on a blindfold, but having a proper trust issue or trust factor. You know, we should reduce the trust deficit and understand that when we say we trust, but that doesn't mean we are not looking into the realities. We need to also look into the realities. The last one is, we should deal with this factor of being envious. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where, we cut down on where we don't excel properly, because when we keep moving with lot of self-interest, we tend to get envious. That's where we need to deal with. You know, envious is not the solution for excellence. Rather, it's an enemy of excellence. So don't envy. If others are doing well, be appreciative of them. You know, be appreciative. And there's some always, even if it's your competitor, healthy. Learn from them what good you can take from that person or from that particular pattern or from that kind of set behavior. What you can take. What's that? What's in for me? That's the question we need to have. If you really want to be a good professional, always ask, what's there in for me? What can I learn? It's not that we are all perfect and we possess everything that what is required. So we have seen the second aspect of the acronym AB, the attitude, behavior, and the third one is the character. What is a character? Character is a mental and moral qualitatives distinctive to an individual. Please let me re-quote it again. It says the mental, the thinking, what we think about, what comes to our mind, what's there embedded in the way of our belief system, and then the moral qualities distinctive to an individual. So let's look at the four pillars of character. Number one, always be a trustworthy person. Somebody should be able to trust you. It's not you trusting others, but they also should be able to trust you. You should be a trustworthy person. The second thing is, you know, be respectful. Don't demand respect, but when you give respect, don't despise others. Don't look down upon others. But what is important is we need to have an aspect of respect for everybody. Let me say that again. We need to have an aspect of respect for others. Then, the third thing is be responsible. Don't just throw away. When things go wrong, you blame others. When things are good, you take the credit. No, we need to equally owe whatever comes along. Be responsible. Be honest enough. Be truthful to take the responsibility, shoulder that responsibility, come under that weight of the responsibility, whether it's good or bad, whether favorable or against or whatever, you know, fairness. In other words, we should be unbiased in our judgment, or when you judge others, there should be an amount of fairness. So, I'm trying to sum up so that we'll be able to listen to what I had to say because of the internet issue. So we've seen the ABCs, the attitude, the behavior, and the character. So let me go back to where I started. I say professionalism is a combination of distinctive qualifications that are embedded with good conduct, ethics, and performance. So, ladies and gentlemen, uh, professionalism is not developed in a day. It takes a whole lifetime. It takes a whole lifetime. It's just not like taking a pill and then you get rid of headache. No, it's everyday conscious effort begin to merge the attitude, the behavior, intermingle with character, then that grows into being. And that's why I said grooming to be a professional. It's, continuous present tense. It's an ongoing process. So I hope this will be useful and helpful, at least to scratch the surface and
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to propose the vote of thanks for today's program. First of all, I would like to thank our director, Dr. Rajesh Kante sir, for his support and direction. I thank the key speaker, Dr. Churchill Samson sir, for his valuable and informative speech. This webinar will be very helpful to our students for grooming themselves to become successful professionals. I extend my thanks to head of both the departments, Dr. P.K. Mudalkar sir and Dr. R.J. Jadhav sir, for their guidance and motivation. I am also thankful to all my faculty colleagues, technical support staff, and non-teaching staff for their kind cooperation. Finally, I would like to thank our students for their attentive participation. I declare this session has been over. Thank you.